Manchester United 2, Man City 0. Fucking get in there, my son. Really pleased with that victory for Manchester United. It went right down to the fucking wire there at the end, and Manchester United sealed it with a 2-0 victory. Really pleased because that keeps Manchester United in the hunt for a Champions League place next season. I mean, the only worry is we have a few of these good results which we've had lately, and then we have some horseshit results. That is my big worry, because Manchester United are there or thereabouts for that Champions League football, but are they going to fall at the final hurdle and put eggs in both baskets, the Europa League and this, and fall at both hurdles? That is my biggest worry for Manchester United. But today, very, very pleased with that. The first 20 minutes or so, Manchester United setting up with a back five, bringing Brandon Williams in to make that back five. Bringing Dan James back in to play a lot up front alongside Anthony Martial in the forward line, Matic, Fernandes and Fred in the midfield. And the first 20 minutes or so, Man City were very, very dominant. And then they seemed to die off, didn't they, really, after that. And Manchester United seemed to capitalise, got a free kick, then got another, and obviously got that other free kick, which Bruno Fernandes coolly played to Martial. A lot of people complaining because it shouldn't have been a free kick. Who gives a fuck? Manchester United got the goal from it. Ederson should have stopped the shot anyway. So if you're going to be critical, Man City fans, your goalkeeper should have stopped it anyway. So then the goal would never have happened. But surely before half time, Fred for me was fouled. Maybe he went down a bit too theatrical. That's what I think why the refs booked him. And VAR said it wasn't enough to give a penalty. Now, a lot of times people moan when they don't stay on their feet and say, well, if he'd gone down, he would have got a penalty. But maybe he went down a bit too easy. But there was contact there from him. So, that was more of a penalty than that was a free kick previous. So, probably levelled itself out a bit there, maybe. But Manchester United went in 1-0 up at half time. We only had that mistake from Ederson, really, that got Manchester United in front. Second half was really dominant from Man City, wasn't it? In the second half they brought in Jesus and Mahrez, after about 50-60 minutes, and they've been pushing and pushing. Jesus Christ, Ederson almost fucked the second one up. Martial going in where he just miscontrolled the ball completely, Ederson, and that could have made it 2-0. I don't think 2-0 would have been deserving because Manchester United didn't really create. Ederson had hardly anything to do in this game, to be honest. And Man City absolutely dominated the possession in that second half. They really did. De Gea did pull off a couple of saves. He did pull off one from Foden. I think that was second half. I think where he tipped it over the bar. I can't remember if it was second half or first half. But and he did from Gabriel Jesus in the second half. If that had fallen to someone, Jesus Christ, they would have just poked that in the empty net. And just before that, Sterling could have got onto a ball that was a nice ball that was put into the box. But he had a shocker again today, Sterling. He's been very off form lately. And when he's played Manchester United, he's had a lot of shocking games. And Wan-Bissaka had him in his pocket pretty much the whole game, which was great to see. And we have made changes in that second half. We brought Mctominay and Bailey on. And then we brought Gallo on late on. Obviously, just to try and hold the ball up a bit, just to keep possession a bit maybe from Gallo. And he didn't do bad when he come on. And that second howler from Ederson just killed the game off because my heart was beating so fast. I thought that by hook or by crook, they were going to get some stupid fucking equaliser and fuck it up for Manchester United. And to be honest, the only thing Man City would have got out of this is the pride if they hadn't lost this game. Manchester United need the points way more than Man City. Man City have got nothing to play for in the league. They're not going to win the league. They're going to finish second in the league. So, barring getting overturned that ban, they're not even going to be in Europe next season. So it doesn't matter to them whether they finish second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever, if they're not going to be in Europe anyway. So to them it was only pride was at stake today of winning the bragging rights of the Manchester derby. But that is 3 victories over Man City this season. The only annoying thing is that the League Cup final one wasn't a victory because it would have helped us get to Wembley and possibly win a trophy. But it is nice to get the double over Man City in the league. We haven't done that since I think about 2009. So that is another record that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has broken. And fair credit to him today. Certainly first up, got the tactics spot on. We've had to soak up a lot of possession, and it was nice to see Scott McTominay get that goal in the second half. just to polish it off, because a young lad comes through the academy and you see what it means to that geezer when he fucking hit that into the back of the net. And I love Scott McTominay because he always gives his all for Manchester United, and he was criticised early on in his Manchester United career. I think that's 5 goals this season for him from midfield, which is a decent return, to be honest, for a midfield player of his position, to be honest, considering he has missed a lot of games for Manchester United. But overall, really pleased that Manchester United got the job done. I mean, I was a little bit worried when I saw it was only Martial and James up front, because James has been in horrendous form for Manchester United this season. Recently, I can't remember the last time he's had a decent game. Been very off form recently. But in the second half, a couple of times he did run down the channel with his pace, which I thought was causing them problems on the counter attack, and we could have killed it off a bit more. There was a time where he could have put it in the box, where I think he did have a shot, and it was saved, I think, by Edison, but that was about it from Edison, really, that I can remember him saving, where if he put it across the box, Fernandes could have tapped it in. But I mean, he does work hard for the team, and with his pace he can cause teams problems, but he's nowhere near as talented as the likes of Greenwood, which is a worry. I'm not sure why Greenwood hasn't even featured at all in these last 2 games. Maybe he didn't play him against Derby because he thought he was going to have to play him today, because obviously we weren't sure that James was going to feature because he's been injured. But surely Greenwood's got to be starting that game again in the Europa League midweek, because he's a real talent and levels ahead of some of these other players that Manchester United do possess in their team. And yeah, I mean, if we can go into that game full of confidence and maybe put that one away, maybe get the away victory, then we would be put one foot in the knockout, the next round of the Europa League, and that is where Manchester United need to go. If we could put that game to bed in the first leg, then we can go back to concentrating on the league and the FA Cup and rest players for that second leg a bit more. If we could get a comfortable victory, it's going to be hard because it's away from home in Austria and they're top of the league. The last round, obviously, against Bruges, we didn't get the victory away from home, and then had to play a strong team in the home game in order to make it certain that we were going to get through. But if you can get the away victory, then that would almost certainly put Manchester United in good stead to get through, and we can maybe rotate the team more than we did in that tie, which would be nice, because we do need to rotate the team with some wholesale changes, I think, if we could, in that second leg, because we've got a lot of games coming thick and fast, and we don't want to pick up any more injuries if we can help it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, like the video, and get in there, my son. We've won the game. Hopefully we can get into that top 4 maybe this season, and that would be a positive for me under Solskjaer on his first season, and then build on it for next season. Talk to you all again soon.